Hey everyone, this is Derek, and in this video we're going to look at another style of application problems, and these are going to involve supply and demand equations, and mostly what we're going to find is market equilibrium point. And what market equilibrium is going to be the place where the quantity that is supplied for a given price equals the quantity that's demanded for a given price. So if you imagine, say, the iPhone, for instance, I'm filming this on, if iPhones cost $5, the demand would be super high. We would all have iPhones. But if iPhones cost $10,000, I would not be filming this on an iPhone, as I would not have one. So supply and demand depend where the price point is. And so a demand curve, that's going to be a decreasing function. So as price increases, demand will decrease. Or as the quantity is available increases, the price will decrease because the market is flooded. And then likewise, the supply curve is going to be an increasing function, which is basically just saying that if you're a manufacturer and as the price goes up, you are super willing to make more of those things and sell more of them and make more of them if people are willing to pay more for them. And then, like I said, market equilibrium is going to be the place for the demand and the supply. It's going to be the price and the quantity that bring those two things into equilibrium. So the amount being supplied is the same as the amount that's being demanded. Okay, so let's see what that looks like. So the monthly supply and demand for a particular bike is represented in the accompanying graph. The quantity is in thousands, and the price is in hundreds of dollars. So here we have our quantity in thousands. So this one doesn't mean one, this one means 1,000. And likewise, this price is in 50. That would be 5000 or 5,000. I have two more zeros on it because this is 50 hundreds, 5,000. And it's asking me to just basically estimate the equilibrium quantity and equilibrium price. So looking at the equilibrium quantity, that is going to be right here. And so that's 14, but it's not really 14 because this is in thousands. So we got to be careful of the computer to say 14,000. And then the equilibrium price looks to be 55, but again, that's in hundreds. So 5,500, 5,500. And that would be our equilibrium point. So quantity for 14,000 units, and the price we're going to get is 5,500. Okay, and for this one, find the market equilibrium point for the following demand and supply equations. Okay, so this one is actually jumping the gun a little bit on the next section, but let me remind you how to solve when we have sort of a system of equations. So I'm going to actually just kind of preview what's called a substitution here. If I isolate these q's, that could be really useful. So I'm going to bring this q over and 2p over, I think. So q plus 2p equals 38, and then we subtract the 2p over, and that's going to get me to q, and I'm going to use capital because in my handwriting these turn into the same thing. Negative 2p plus 38. And then here, let me bring this q over, so I'd have 3p equals q plus 22, and I'll subtract the 22 over. So now I have q equals 3p minus 22. So if q equals 2p plus 38 and 3p minus 22, then that means they equal each other because these q's were looking for the quantity to be the same value. So now I can just set those two equations equal, and that is called a substitution. And we will see that a bunch more in the next chapter. That's actually right where it picks up. And so to solve this now, I'm going to bring the 2p over to this side. Let's go plus 2p. And while we're here, let's go plus 22, and we got basically p's on one side, numbers to the other. So that would be 60 equals 5p. And then p would be 12. So that would be the price. And then I don't know the quantity yet, so I need to come back here and then solve for the quantity that would go with it. And this is called back solving. Again, we'll do a bunch of this in the next section. 2 and then 12 plus 38. So Q would be 24, negative 24 plus 38 would be 14. So as ordered paired, and again, we usually write quantity and then price on these. So Q and P, the quantity would be 14, and then the price would be 12.